Hey gang, hope you're well. One thing I want to, or the thing I want to talk about this week is your relationship with time. And so just want to get you to think about where you're at right now in relation to that. Are you busy, run off your feet? Have you got a bit more freedom in your world right now? What's that like for you? The Over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be talking about the different relationships you've got with time. This week it's going to be the linear time trap, and then I'm going to talk about development time and how that's a spiral and why things keep coming up every now, over and over again. And I'm going to talk about your relationship with time at the end and ask you to make a choice. What we're talking about this week is two ways to look at time in your life and your work and how they impact the decisions and choices you make. When we get this right, life feels freer. It doesn't feel as much of a burden. When we get this wrong, we're kind of pushing ourselves and demanding a lot from ourselves and running from thing to thing. So let me talk you through what the plan is and how this is going to work. So excuse my writing, by the way. I know it's a bit messy, but any words you can't see, ask me in the comments and I'll explain them. So we're going to be talking about the linear time trap. The thing about this, the best way to define it is that in the Western world, primarily, we have a deep-seated belief that is based on a linear time frame of life and death. Okay. And that creates a deep-seated belief around the scarcity of time. So, if you imagine this at the end of my life, these are the things I've achieved, I better tick them off now. Otherwise, my life wasn't meaningful, or it wasn't what I wanted it to be, or whatever it is for you. This scarcity mindset drives a whole lot of behavior. The behavior and the active mindset it mostly drives, and think about this for you, is the belief that I need this now. So you think about that, right? You think about how that impacts us as consumers. You think about how that impacts our use of resources on the planet, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a whole lot of, I'm not going to go beyond time, but you can see the implication of this belief system that runs. I used to run this belief, still do at times. And one of the things I said to myself at university, I remember it, is I used to party hard. And I used to say to people that you can sleep when you're dead, which is literally like, I'm going to squeeze as much juice from the lemon as I can. And we still apply this mindset a lot to projects we run and anything in the physical world, because anything in the physical world, that isn't where we're actually building something or making something has an inherent, when you have a rental property or you have a house that you've got to maintain over time, things require maintenance. There's an evolutionary process, but then a devolution, or however you say it, process where things degrade over time. So we're always trying to keep things the way we want them to be. And that creates this cycle, right? So I wonder, what's that cycle for you right now? Right? What's your belief around time? A while ago, I actually came upon the concept of, and this is by a guy called Dan Sullivan, where he challenged this concept of time and he's got a book out there, which is My Plan to Live to 156. Well, Dan's amazing thinker, business coach for entrepreneurs. He's awesome. And one of the things he says, which was challenging for me, but I think really important for us all to consider, is that one of the reasons we do eventually die is because we don't have something to live for. And so you think about what happens to people when they retire. They no longer got a reason to get up, no purpose, they become less busy. And, there's that soul's purpose is no longer there. And eventually that leads to physical death. Now, I'm not generalizing for everyone this happens, but it can happen. And his sense is, rather than the focus being on, I'm going to live to 156, imagine having the sense that you're not running out of time. Even right now, whatever age you are, that you've just got enough time of what you need to do and what you need to learn. And that's pretty challenging for a lot of people. They feel like they're trying to run and do as much as they can because their belief is they have to do it now. So one of the ways that you can act upon this and just try it is, in one area of your life, stop doing 20% of what you're doing right now. Stop it as an experiment. And see if anything changes. See if you get paid less. See if you're actually less productive. See if anyone notices. See how you feel doing that 20% less. And, does anything actually change? And then if that happens, you could even try another 20%. Now, people might actually really notice you try another 20%, but it just shows, ask yourself, what's the difference that's making the difference? And what is my belief about time? Do I have to do everything now? The other experiment you can run is think about, and this is a Dan term, free days. So the more free days you have, it's actually been proven the more creative you are. Now, the reason for this is because when you fill up all your days, you only have capacity for current opportunities, current resources, current capabilities. If you aim to make yourself 30% free every day, you can look for new opportunities. You can do new things. You can develop new habits. And I'll talk about in the next video about the spiral nature of development and why we need the space when we're working on ourselves. And we can't, when we're completely locked in, all our time is committed. We don't have any time for that development. So just let me review. I want you to ask yourself, in this linear time track, what's the belief you have about time that you're running to every single day? What is that belief? Write it down. And how does that influence your behavior, the choices you make about what you feel like you need to do every day? Do you believe you need to do everything now? And then imagine if you never had the sense that you were running out of time. How would that help you relax? How would that help you be more present, be more purposeful with what you're doing right now, rather than worrying about not delivering on what you think the future or the past? Right? And then, some steps is look at how you can take 20% away from activity and see if anything changes. Have a free day every now and again. Notice if anything shifts or changes. And I've worked with executives for years on this goal, trying to get themselves 30% free, really hard. But it's interesting, as soon as they free themselves up, they feel like they're more strategically effective. They feel like they've got better creativity, better insights, and more motivation. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take this, use it, apply it, share it, talk to people about it. Love your work. Talk soon. Cheers. Bye.